Hey everyone, Mike here, and today we're having a look at the HTC Desire X, their new mid-range smartphone and probably one of the best HTC deals I've seen in a while. So tag along and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video to your friends if you'll enjoy it. This really helps us a lot. But before we'll start the actual review, let's have a quick look at what you'll find inside the box. Alright, so the HTC Desire X is meant for those of you looking for a good Android smartphone who are not ready to buy a device with a giant screen or paid loads of money for it. Thus, it only comes with a 4-inch display and a thin bezel, and as a result the whole thing feels very comfortable in hand. The fact that it's light, weighing just about 150 grams, also helps. HTC decided to use only plastic for the Desire X's body, but the build quality is quite good. Yes, the phone can squeak when grabbed firmly, but the soft plastic finishing on the back is something I enjoy, although it's not as reliable as metal and it's a lot more difficult to clean. So overall, I'm quite happy with the looks and the feel of this HTC. But how about the practical aspect? Well, on the sides, the X features the usual ports and buttons, a power button and a headphone jack on top, a volume rocker on the side and a micro USB adapter on the other. And yes, having the cut for the USB port on the left side where you'll usually hold your finger instead of having it on the bottom is a bit annoying, but you'll get used to it. On the back there's a 5-megapixel camera with flash, surrounded by this rather ugly textured plastic design element. There's also a micro drilled speaker grill next to the Beats Audio logo, both of them screaming HTC back at you. The entire plastic back cover is removable, and behind it there's the battery, the SIM and the micro SD card slot. On the front, just beneath the screen, the HTC Desire X features 3 capacitive Android buttons, while on top there's another punctured grille hiding the earpiece, a light sensor and a tiny notification LED. And yes, I did not mention any front-facing camera because this phone lacks one. Turning to the display, the Desire X packs a 4-inch Super LCD panel with a rather low 800 by 480 pixel resolution, so there's really nothing fancy about it. It is however a decently good screen, but it trails the more capable types of screens available on the market, especially when it comes to contrast, pixel density and viewing angles. Also, one thing you should have in mind is that there seems to be no Gorilla Glass on top of this display, so you might want to use a screen protector with it. As for the hardware, well, there's a dual-core platform inside the HTC Desire X, but not really the latest generation one. Still, alongside the graphics, the 768MB of RAM and the 4GB of storage, expandable with up to 32GB cards, the hardware ensures decent performances for the Desire X with everyday use. Have a look at the benchmark results for more details. Of course, if you'll compare the Desire X with modern dual-core architectures, those ones are significantly faster, and that's why the HTC doesn't always feel that snappy, takes a bit of time to zoom in web pages or load apps and games. Software-wise, the mid-range HTC runs on Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich out of the box with Sense UI on top. I'm not going to get into details, there are things I like and things I hate about Sense, but I will show you some aspects about the user interface and how this one deals with everyday apps in the next couple of seconds. A device like the HTC Desire X will act as a multimedia companion most of the time, so it will have to deal with music, radio, movies and games. The music player is standard for HTC devices and overall fairly good. The audio coming out of that back speaker isn't shabby either, as long as you have Beats Audio activated, and the included headsets are decent, although you can definitely find better. Videos are more problematic though, as the default movie app could not run any of the HD movies I've tried, but did handle well standard resolution content. There are however third-party apps that could do it, but even 720p's are choppy. As for games, I've tried a couple of them on the Desire X and most of the titles available right now will work just fine. Some of the recent and complex games will make it feel rather sluggish though. With those in mind, a casual smartphone user should find the HTC Desire X fast enough and most of the time reliable. It handles the basic phone tasks quite well too, like taking and making calls, texting, connecting to internet via 3G. There is however one potential deal breaker for this HTC, the camera. For stills, the 5-megapixel shooter on the back does a decent job and the interface was inherited from the more advanced HTCs. Have a look at some pics and judge them yourself. But when it comes to videos, this phone cannot even shoot 720p, not to mention 1080p clips. No, it can only record 480p video, and that is quite bad for a mid-range device launched in 2012. On the other hand, the battery life you'll be getting with the Desire X is not that bad, despite it packing a rather small 1650 mAh battery. The slower and less energy-hungry hardware helps here, and the HTC can easily go through the day with medium use, and will even get you to 2 full days when used lightly. So all in all, the HTC Desire X is a pretty capable phone, and if you're in the market for a mid-range handset, you should consider it. Right now, when filming this review, it sells for around $300 or 250 euros off contract, and you should get it for a lot less or for free when bundled with monthly fees. Devices like the Samsung Galaxy S3 Mini, the Samsung Galaxy S3 Advance or the Sony Xperia U and Sola are this one's competitors, but I'd say that the Desire X is overall a better value phone than those. But it just depends on what you want from your device and whether you're willing to go over this one's important shortcomings, like the lack of HD video shooting, lack of a front-facing camera, or the poor support for HD content. And that pretty much wraps up this video review. Thank you for watching, and I do hope you'll share it to your friends and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed it. Your support means a lot to us, and we couldn't do these clips without it. I for one will catch you all later, but in the meantime make sure to check out some of my other HTC Desire X videos. I've linked them in the description down below. Cheers!